Next on PIJN News, Dr. Chaps reports on these important issues.
After getting attacked by Denver Channel 9 for coming on our TV program, Governor candidate Greg Lopez comes back for more. We interview Kyle Kashuv, a survivor of the Parkland, Florida shooting, and also candidate Ray Garcia.
Former Navy chaplain Gordon James Klingenschmidt took a stand to defend religious freedom by daring to pray publicly in Jesus' name. Now he helps you by reporting the news, discerning the spirits, and praying the scriptures. Would you pray with us? Here's Dr. Chaps.
Welcome back. I'm Dr. Chaps. We're here at the Western Conservative Summit, and I've run into a returning guest, a man we had in our studio who has since been nominated and received the ballot access to get on the ballot as candidate for governor of Colorado in the Republican Party. Greg Lopez, welcome back to the program.
Well, thank you for having me.
So it's been a few months since we had you in our TV studio.
That's right.
What has happened since then?
Well, you know what? It's been a whirlwind. We've been traveling the state. We've been talking to a lot of great people. We've been talking about the challenges of the state of Colorado. And I think our message is connecting. We really are feeling that we have the support of rural Colorado and urban Colorado. And I think right now, we're just going to stay in our lane. We're doing the debates, but we're looking forward to the 26th, the primary election results.
And it's just a couple weeks away. I mean, the ballots are already in people's mailboxes. This is a 3-week sprint because people can already be voting yesterday. You may have already won some votes.
You know what? As a matter of fact, I've had people come up to me today and say, hey, I voted for you. We're telling our friends to vote for you. So yes, we've already gotten some votes, but like you said, we can't stop. We're going to push all the way through the 26th and hope that we come out on top and we move on to the general election in November.
Now, we're at this primary stage where there's still 4 Republicans in the race. There's also 4 Democrats in the race. Of the 8 people running, and you're one of the 8, who are you least like? Who do you disagree with the most?
Who do I disagree with the most? I'm the only Republican candidate that traditionally goes to the Democratic forums when they have their gubernatorial forums.
Yeah.
They invite us, right? And I go, right? And I listen to them.
You debate the Democrats?
I do.
Wow.
I do it now, okay? And so I get to hear what they're saying. So when you're asking me about the 8, which ones do I disagree with the most? It's probably going to have to be Jared Polis.
Jared Polis is not in a Christian conservative camp like you are.
No, he's not. And so as I hear him speak, as I hear his vision for Colorado, I just don't see it, how it's going to be a benefit for all 64 counties, for everyone here in Colorado, all the families. I see it that he's looking at it from a very narrow vision, and I don't think it's going to be good at the end of the day for us.
It's a little bit confusing to me when I see his ads that here's this father figure. He uses his son in his ads to show what a great dad he is. But here's a man who's not only openly gay, and I guess that's his thing, but has fought the conservative pro-family agenda for decades. Every step of his career has been anti-family. Why is he campaigning that way?
I can't speak for his philosophy, but I share your sentiments. I look at it from my perspective and what the Lord wants me to do. And I speak very strongly about him. As a matter of fact, on the Channel 9 debate last night, I was the only candidate that was asked, Greg, why do you speak so strongly about your religion? And I felt that, this is exactly what the Lord wants me to do, is to stand tall and talk about him. Specifically about how all the challenges that we face here in our country is due to the fact that we've abandoned God. And if we can bring God back into our family values, back in our daily conversation, that we wouldn't have all these types of issues that we're dealing with every single day.
Speaking of Channel 9, I want to tell our viewers a little bit about what happened after you were on my TV show last time. Can I do that?
Sure.
So Greg came on my TV show in our studio, and I asked him how he feels about transgender rights. In other words, the right of men to use ladies' bathroom. I don't think that's a right. And you pretty much agreed with me.
That's true.
But then Channel 9 held a debate, and they said to you, Greg Lopez, aren't you ashamed that you went on Dr. Chaps' TV show? And you said what?
I said no, not at all. They were trying to accuse me of saying, because I said they were confused, that I truly believe they were confused. And they were concerned, is like, why would you call them confused?
The transgenders.
The transgenders. And I said, because I truly feel that way. when someone is a male and then they feel they need to use a female restroom, the only explanation for me is that they're confused. You know? Yeah.
And you stood by your guns.
And I did stand by my
And
gun.
then the day after that was aired on Channel 9 Denver, which has a lot more viewers than I do, you won the Republican primary, or at least you got on the ballot.
I got on the ballot.
You
yes.
were like probably not projected to get
true.
on the ballot.
It's true.
But after that, you made the ballot. I think that question actually helped you at the assembly.
I think it did as well. You know, I think everything that I stand for, you know, everything that I believe in, I can tell you this. The Lord's always had his hand on my campaign.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that one question really signified where I stand. And it did help me as I went into the next day, that Saturday, to get one of the two that came out of the assembly.
I think there were 9 candidates and only 2 came out of the assembly, you and Walker Stapleton.
That's correct. That's correct. I think we surprised a lot of people, you know, that we've been working so hard, but like you said earlier, I am not one that was supposed to come out of the assembly.
Yeah.
You know, I don't necessarily walk in the establishment of the party.
You're the underdog.
I am, you know, and I've been here before, and that's okay. You know, when I was elected mayor at the age of 27, I was only living in the town for a year and a half, and I ran against the incumbent, a bank president, a retired school teacher that became a real estate agent, you know, and yeah, you know, I've been here before, but it's just making sure my message connects with people.
Yeah. Well, I respect you. I'm glad you're taking a stand for your faith. Mention your website, and what do you want people to do?
Well, you know what, if you want to know more about who Greg Lopez is, go to lopezforgovernor.com. You know, and I really want you to look at where I stand, help me get into the general election, and if you feel the calling, give a $64 contribution. I ask people for $64 because it's $1 for every county. If you want to give more, I'll take more, but I ask people for $64.
That's it. And although I cannot endorse Greg Lopez, I admire the heck out of him, and we also welcome any other candidates for governor to come and sit in the hot chair where this man actually picked up votes for coming on our TV show. Greg Lopez, thanks for coming on our show.
Thank you for having me so much.
All right. Greg Lopez, candidate for governor of Colorado. I'm Dr. Chaps. We'll be right back.
Giving you a megaphone in Washington, D.C. Dr. Chaps will be right back.
I want to make a special offer available to our television viewers, and it's our new exclusive limited edition In God We Trust wall calendar. This is good through June of 2019, and we're running out, so you really need to pick up the phone. Why would you want an inspiring calendar? Well, listen, it's got quotes from many of our past presidents, starting with General George Washington, Abe Lincoln, Dwight David Eisenhower, President Ronald Reagan, even George W. Bush. Anytime they talked about their faith, we captured it and put their quotes on a calendar you can hang on your wall. Please pick up the phone today and call us at 866-OBEY-GOD for your gift of just $15 plus $4 shipping. We will rush you this calendar and inspire you in the months ahead. Call us at 866-OBEY-GOD or write to us right now at P.O. Box 77077, Colorado Springs, Colorado 80970. Enclose your best donation and we'll ship you this calendar right away.
Empowering you, the grassroots activist. Here is Dr. Chaps.
Welcome back. I'm Dr. Chaps at the Western Conservative Summit, joined now by Kyle Kashuv, 17 years old, is a survivor of the Parkland, Florida shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. Kyle, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
So, go through the events of the day. What do you remember? You came out of this with your life.
Yeah, I mean, I was in a separate building that wasn't shot into. It was a lot of panic, and we sat into a closet for about 2 hours, and then SWAT took us out.
You hid in a closet from this gunman who came in. Recap for us, what did the news report about how many casualties?
17 people were murdered, and then, yeah.
Did you know the gunman?
No.
Was he arrested then? Is he in jail now?
I think he's being put on trial. I'm not sure if he pled guilty or not yet.
So, why are you here at the Western Conservative Summit? What are you talking about?
Mostly Second Amendment and how we protect our schools.
So wait, you're pro-gun. You're in favor of the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
So, tell me why. I mean, besides believing in the Constitution, how does this help kids?
Well, the Second Amendment is essentially a deterrent for a tyrannical government. It also promotes self-preservation and the ability to defend yourself and not rely on the government for everything.
Ability to defend yourself and not rely on the government. What is this pin that you're wearing? I see it's an American flag.
Yeah, the Secret Service gave this to me at the NRA National Convention.
And it's got a blue line through where one of the white lines was. Do you support law enforcement?
I mean, definitely.
So they came and they you said you were rescued by SWAT team. They let you out. What was your parents' reaction that day? Were they alarmed?
My parents weren't watching the news that day, so they knew that there was a shooting at school. I told them everything was okay while it was happening, and then we just watched the news reports for the rest of the night.
And did you know some of the victims?
I knew one girl, Helena Ramsey. The thing is, we have like 3,300 kids at our school, so you don't know everyone.
It's a very big campus.
Yeah.
So, again, there's this other young person out there. His name is David Hogg, and he's against guns. Mm-hmm. He says that he's a survivor of a school shooting.
The thing is that none of the I wasn't in the main shooting that was shot into. I think I'd say all of the activists that you know of publicly were not in the building that was shot into.
Yeah, including him, I think.
Yeah, including me as well.
So, what are your reactions when people say we need to get rid of guns? I mean, that'll make people safer.
They're ignorant. They're mainly ignorant. They don't understand how the Second Amendment works and the benefits that it has to the American public. The CDC, which is quite partisan, estimated that in 2015, between 500,000 and 3 million people, there were 3 million defensive gun uses.
Defensive gun uses?
Yeah. And only 36,000 people, but 36,000 people, there are 36,000 deaths by guns practically every year. 2/3 of those are suicides and 1/3 of those are murders.
So it sounds like if the aggressive people have guns, then the innocent people ought to be able to defend themselves too.
Well, yeah, I mean, criminals don't follow laws. They're criminals. So forcing individuals to take away their weapons, they're only taking weapons from law-abiding citizens, not actually criminals.
My friend Patrick Neville, who, when he was your age, was at Columbine High School the day that it was shot, and some of his friends died. Well, now 20 years later, Patrick Neville has not only been elected to the Colorado legislature, but he's the ranking minority leader. He's the top Republican in the State House.
Good for him.
He introduced a bill this year to let teachers, if they choose to, arm themselves.
Yeah,
So what are your
great.
thoughts?
I mean, I've been pushing that ever since in Florida. I think that it should be absolutely essential that a teacher, if they want to defend themselves, should be able to if they go through the proper training.
And defend the kids too.
Yeah, I mean, first responders are the only are the ones who actually save the kids. There's an average 15-minute response time from a police station to schools, and most of the shots are fired in a school shooting for 5 minutes. So for 5 minutes, on average, the shooter can absolutely do whatever he wants in these gun-free zone schools. And there needs to be the ability of first responders to be on the scene immediately to take action.
You talk about that phrase, gun-free zones. Was your school a gun-free zone?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So, in other words, they put these stickers on the windows saying, no guns here, and the criminals ignore that.
Illuminating the target, enticing the shooter.
You think it enticed the shooter to come there?
I mean, if a shooter knows that there's not going to be any armed resistance, absolutely, because in 98%, when a school shooter is confronted by an armed individual, they either flee or they get killed.
Yeah, and how long did it take that day for that gunman to be confronted?
6 minutes and 30 seconds when the shooting stopped.
And then he dropped his gun and he was arrested?
No, he ran out of campus with the other kids, and then he was arrested later on very far away from the school because of how bad the police were.
Oh. Yeah, and I heard there was some allegations of corruption and...
There's a lot of corruption.
One of the first the guy who was charged with school security didn't even go into the school to help anybody.
Yeah, he just stood there and did absolutely nothing.
Well, that's disappointing. What are your future plans?
I'm not quite sure right now. I definitely want to go to college. I'm not sure if I want to pursue business or law.
Business or law?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay. If you go into law, maybe you have politics in your future.
Possibly.
All right.
Sweet. Thank you for having me.
All right. This is Kyle Kashuv. He is one of the survivors of the Parkland, Florida shooting.
How are we doing?
I'm Dr. Chaps. We'll be right back.
Dr. Chaps will be right back with more PIJN news.
How is your marriage doing? Ladies, would you like to learn how to get your husband to love you the way Christ loves the church? Men, would you like your wife to show proper respect? You know, there's a Bible way to have a godly marriage. I'm not saying I'm the expert, but we interview in a 4-part video teaching series, a marriage and family ministry expert, Vince Dacchioli. And we go through the scriptures in 4 different parts. Part 1 is God's design for man and woman. Part 2 is godly roles for husband and wife. 3 is sex and intimacy within godly marriage. And also God's plan for divorce. You want to have this important 4-part video series available for a suggested donation of $30 if you call our toll-free prayer line at 866-OBEY-GOD. Again, that's 866-OBEY-GOD. Or visit our website, prayinjesusname.org.
Empowering you, the grassroots activist. Here is Dr. Chaps.
Welcome back. I'm Dr. Chaps. We're interviewing candidates and celebrities, and I think I found one of each in this man, Ray Garcia, who is running for State House 21 in Colorado Springs, Fountain, more specifically. Welcome, Ray Garcia.
Welcome.
So, Ray, you are a Garcia, which is Hispanic heritage?
Well, actually, I'm a Native American. Dene on my mom's side and Cherokee on my dad's side. And on my dad's side, there's Spanish from Spain. So that's where the Garcia name come from.
That explains the long hair.
Yeah, Native American.
He's got a good sense of humor, too. But you started running in a Republican primary against another Republican who has held the seat for a few years, Lois Landgraf. Mm-hmm. Why are you challenging another Republican?
So the problem I think we have in Colorado, at least mostly across the United States, but in Colorado specifically for us, is that the Republicans aren't very Republican.
Yeah.
We're slowly taking it back and putting solid conservatives back in office, like Justin Everett, Patrick Neville, Tim Neville. Solid conservatives is what we need. People that are not afraid to stand up for conservative beliefs.
Do you think the Republican Party is divided along establishment money candidates and conservative grassroots candidates?
Somewhat. You know, what I really think is wrong with the Republican Party is that they bought into this notion the Democrats have shoved down our throats for the last 60 years that we need to move more to the left to appeal to more voters. And if we move more to the left, we can get elected. So they start voting more liberal instead of conservative.
And they compromise their principles.
Exactly. Yeah. And this is the wrong thing. This is exactly opposite of what we need to do. But the Democrats have put this because they can get Democrat light. They win either way. But if we have solid conservatives, and this is what everybody is looking for, somebody that will stand up for solid conservative beliefs and stand behind their convictions. That's all they want.
So you stand on certain principles. Among those I happen to know personally is the Second Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. Talk about your business history.
So I've been in the gun industry now for 6 years. I do gun shows on the weekends. That's my livelihood. So I am solid 100% pro Second Amendment, every way, shape, and form.
And there have been issues in the news recently with school shootings, not only in Florida, but dating back to Columbine, Colorado, a couple decades ago now.
Yeah, and it's a simple solution how to fix this. It's not taking away the guns to fix this problem. The simple solution is, it's the gun-free zones is what's causing this whole
What is a gun-free zone?
So when they put up a sign that says you can't bring a gun into this establishment, so no criminal is going to look at that sign and say, oh, I can't go in there. They're looking for that sign. When they see that sign, they know everybody in there is a victim that I can attack without fear of being attacked back.
And the only people in the gun-free zones are the criminals who want to hurt the disarmed citizens.
Exactly. It's shooting fish in a barrel. It's insane to disarm the victims.
When I was in the Colorado legislature, I carried a piece of legislation to take down the gun-free zone stickers and to reward businesses who take down those stickers with immunity. They cannot be sued just for allowing people like you and me who have concealed carry permits to do what our sheriff already lets us do, and that is concealed carry and protect ourselves, maybe even protect our citizens if need be.
Well, exactly. When the prey is armed, the predator thinks twice. If it was the guns that were the problem here, every gun show in America would have mass shootings every show. There's thousands of guns at every gun show. Never has there been a mass shooting at a gun show. Why? Because every criminal that wants to do this knows everybody in that show is armed. I'll be taken out before it even starts. And you want to solve the problem with the schools? You don't have to even arm the people or the teachers or anything in the schools. All you have to do is put up a sign or let it be known that somebody in that school has been armed or is armed and has been trained to repel any attacker. It doesn't have to be actually true, but how does the criminal know that? And when power is perceived, power is achieved. So no criminal is going to go there and say, well, they might have somebody armed there that can repel me, so I'm not going to go in there. If they do, if they don't, how do I know? But they don't know.
We need to have messaging toward the criminals so they know there's a risk.
Exactly.
If they go in there and harm people. Patrick Neville, who is the minority leader, carried legislation this year in the Colorado State House, if I remember correctly, you can correct me, to allow teachers who volunteer for this, they don't have to, but if they want to get training to carry or to protect their classrooms, the teachers should be allowed. This was defeated in the legislature. What are your thoughts?
It shouldn't have been defeated. That's a great bill. It was a great thought. I mean, it would have solved the whole problem. But they go off of the message that we're trying to arm everybody and the guns are bad. I don't see how guns are bad. We didn't have this before. In the early, like right after World War II, we had classes. My mom had classes in her high school where they took guns to school and they shot. They were taught how to use weapons, and they shot in school. And it was fine. They didn't have school shootings back then. When I was a kid and went to school, we had our rifles and shotguns at the back of our trucks hanging in the window, and we drove right to school. And when my principal saw my shotgun in the back of my truck when I pulled up, he was like, "Oh, hey, what do you got?" And then he wanted to walk over to his car to show me his shotgun. Because, it was nothing like that. We had respect for guns. We had respect for each other at that time.
My dad, when he was a kid, used to bring the rifle into the classroom because they were going to go hunt rabbits on the way home when they walked home on the farm.
Yeah, my dad used to walk home with school with his rifle, and they'd stop and get ice cream at the corner store, and there was no problem back then. And you didn't have school shootings, you didn't have mass shootings.
So do you think ultimately this is a heart issue that some kids, maybe they grew up in a rough environment, but for whatever reason, they want to hurt their friends who maybe mock them or...
Honestly, I think it's more of a publicity thing now. We almost idolize these shooters now in the media. They get their name gets plastered all over the place, and they're inundated on the news with these kids' names. So somebody that has problems in school and is being shunned sees this and say, "Well, they could take me out. They'll know my name forever, and I'll make them sorry for what they did." That kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's vanity. Minority Leader Patrick Neville, who, as I said, carried that gun bill for teachers, he was a student in Columbine High School on the day that the killers shot many and killed many of his friends. Mm-hmm. So he knows from experience.
Yes, he was, and that speaks volumes right there. He was in it, but he's not calling for gun control because he knows it doesn't work.
So besides the gun issue, and you're very articulate, I wanted to get your thoughts because you're so experienced at this. What are some other things that you care about? Why, if you're elected, what would you do?
Other than gun issues, so there's several things that I'm passionate about. Veterans, I'm a veteran, so veteran support is huge on my book. We're losing 22 veterans a day to suicide. That's more than we lose in the wars. I mean, that's the war we have right now, and veterans are crying for help and getting none. This is huge for me. Babies, unborn children are still children. They're still babies. There's not a lump of cells. And I believe in life from conception to natural death. And that's something I'm very strong on.
This is a Christian TV show. Can you talk about how your faith informs your politics?
So I grew up in a very Catholic household. We went to church every single day before school. So my mom would take us to church. I was an altar boy as a child. Nice. So I've been in, my faith is very strong for me since I was very young, and it still is today. God leads my life.
Good. Where can people learn about your candidacy, maybe donate or sign up for your emails?
ElectRayGarcia.com.
ElectRayGarcia.com. But we're not endorsing Ray. In fact, Lois Landgraf, if you dare to take the Dr. Chaps Challenge, we invite you to our TV studio. We'll give you equal time. And any other candidates who are out there, Republican, Democrat, Independent, contact us. We would love to figure out what makes you tick as we approach these critical off-year election decisions. Ray Garcia, thanks for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
All right, I'm Dr. Chaps. We'll be right back.
Dr. Chaps will be right back with more PIJN news.
Take action today. Dr. Chaps needs you to sign an important online petition.
Today, I want to invite you to sign a critical petition to defend innocent babies and to end abortion in America. On this show, we like to pray and petition God, but we also need you to take action today by petitioning Congress to stop the taxpayer-funded child killing, especially by defunding Planned Parenthood, America's #1 abortion provider. Why are your taxes paying to murder innocent children in the womb? Well, if Congress would simply define personhood as life beginning at conception, we can reverse Roe v. Wade. Please join me today by signing this important petition to Congress. Visit prayinjesusname.org. Again, that's prayinjesusname.org and sign your petition today.
Sign today's petition right now. Again, visit prayinjesusname.org to sign our petition right now. Stay tuned for the end of our show to learn how to partner with this ministry. Here's Dr. Chaps.
I want to thank you for watching and for donating today. You know, where else are you going to find a Christian take on the news with news-making interviews by Christian candidates like Greg Lopez, who's running for governor? We need your donations to stay on the air and to bring you these informative interviews. Would you please take a moment today and click on the recurring donation button? You can give as little as $1 a month when you click recurring donate at our website, prayinjesusname.org. Again, that's prayinjesusname.org. If you need prayer today, we want you to pick up the phone and call us. We have operators standing by to pray with you during business hours. Or after hours, you can leave us a message. Call us at 866-OBEY-GOD. Again, that's 866-OBEY-GOD. It's a toll-free call, and we want to pray for you. God bless you in Jesus' name. We'll see you next time. Today I want to invite you to sign an important petition to Congress to protect military chaplains, especially their right to pray publicly in Jesus' name. If you remember my story, you know that I was vindicated by Congress in 2006 after I took a principled stand for the right to pray in Jesus' name. But Congress never did pass a positive law to let chaplains pray according to their conscience. Would you sign that petition with me? Let's take action today.
Dr. Chaps needs your financial support to stay on the air. Would you please send your best donation today? Please visit prayinjesusname.org to donate online. Or you can mail a check to Pray in Jesus Name Ministries, Post Office Box 77077, Colorado Springs, Colorado 80970. You can also call us toll-free right now at 866-OBEY-GOD. That's 866-OBEY-GOD. Please sign up for our free emails at prayinjesusname.org. Again, that's prayinjesusname.org.